Surging Sparks has been out for over 2 weeks now, and it's time to look at the price difference from now and pre-release. Let's see what the top 10 most expensive cards are in Surging Sparks right now. In the 2 weeks of this set being out, we have seen the Pikachu being sold in a PSA 10 more than the Umbreon from Evolving Skies, and we've seen the Gold Pika make its ascent to one of the top cards in the set. With this set being even harder to find for a good price than it was at pre-release, the economic effect it has had on these cards is absolutely insane. It's time to see what we got right with our predictions and to see what we got wrong. Let's jump to number 10. At number 10, we have the Gold Night Stretcher, and this card is coming in at $27.59. It is down $17.40 from its most recent reading. So the Night Stretcher was not on our pre-release list. This card is simply here just because of its playability. Now, I'm not an expert in the card game, but that doesn't mean that I can't read. For the people who don't play the game, this card actually allows you to get a Pokemon from your discard pile and bring it into your hand, and you can play any number of item cards during your turn. A lot of people are using this card right now in tournaments. Its original normal version was released in Shrouded Fable, and now it has a shiny gold version. I do not think that this card will move past number 10. If I'm being honest here, I wouldn't be surprised that if the next time we look at this list that it's still setting at number 10. At number 9, we have the Jasmines Gaze SIR, and this card is coming in at $35.38. It is actually down $39.31 from its most recent reading. This card has absolutely plummeted, but it was expected, of course. At pre-release, this card was sitting at $93, and it has fallen 2 spots in this list since its previous version. This card did exactly what I thought it would do, and it fell all the way to between the $30 and $40 range. I expect it to drop closer to $30 and bounce between $30 and $35. So I was reading more on this card, and the ability of this card is actually interesting to me. This card allows for your Pokemon to take 30 less damage by your opponent on its next turn, but no one is really using it from any official tournament decks. So if you're using this card in a local tournaments, or maybe you're not using it, there's a specific reason why you're not using it, definitely let me know down below. I'm genuinely curious on why. At number 8, we have the Latias IR, and this card is coming in at $40.29. It is only down $1.11 from its previous reading. This card actually is in the same exact spot as it was for our pre-release list, and it has only fallen about $11 from that price, which is better than I actually initially expected. Again, I still think that this should have been an SIR. I understand why it's not, but I don't really care. It should be. With it not dropping as much as I expected it to originally, this card still gives me vibes that this card can compete with the Magikarp as one of the most expensive IRs of the era. I can still see it dropping some more before it really rises, but again, the fact that it's relatively stayed where it was is pretty impressive to me. At number 7, we have the Alolan Executor EX SIR. This thing is coming in at $48.88. It is actually down $42.20 from its previous reading. You know, after we pulled the Florida Christmas tree, seeing it in person, I will say this is a very nice card. It is down 1 spot from the pre-release list, and it's fallen quite a bit from a price standpoint. Last time I asked if this was playable, and some people said, hey, maybe you should learn a card game. So that's what I've been doing, trying to learn it over these past couple weeks. So this time I did my homework. I think this card is interesting to play with. It has an ability to knock out an opponent's basic Pokemon with just the correct call of a coin flip. Quite literally gambling, but it seems like it has a quality defensive ability as well. With it not being able to be attacked on your bench, but still, I don't think that it is that playable. Maybe I'm wrong. Definitely let me know. Maybe people thought originally why the price was up so much, maybe that you could KO an evolved Pokemon, which that would have been pretty OP, honestly. That's worth a coin flip in my opinion. But either way, this card does look very good. With all that being said, this one is so far outperforming my original predictions, but I still look for it to continue to fall down to the $30 and $40 range. I compared it to the Galvantula from Stellar because that's kind of all we had to go on right now is Stellar Crown. I just think that is on that same tier level. At number 6, we had the Lis Appeal SIR, and this one is coming in at $70.04. It is actually down $69.22 from its previous reading. This card has dropped 3 spots from our last video. And remember, if you want to see what cards completely dropped out of the top 10 and my complete original thoughts on each card, go check out that video. The link will be at the very end of this one. This thing has dropped like a rock. After pulling 2 of these, I will say this card is is really nice. This thing has fallen way past my $100 prediction, and honestly, it's kind of surprising to me. I had some pretty crazy predictions with this thing, and I still think that it can happen because the time frame that I gave it in. I don't think it will drop much lower. I wouldn't be surprised at this point that if it doesn't get down to like 50 bucks. I'm just keeping it real. At number 5, we have the Malotic EX SIR, and this thing is coming in at $80.86. It is actually down $15.33 from its previous reading. Even though this thing dropped more than I originally expected, it is in the same spot it was at pre-release as far as the numbers go. This is one of my favorite cards from the set. We still haven't pulled it yet, and it's weird that we didn't get a big drop when the set released. Now we're kind of starting to see the drops on all of these cards. It kind of looks like the hype carried this set for 2 weeks, and now maybe we're seeing the drops that we should have seen on release week. I still think this card is worthy of a $100 price. Let's see what happens in the next coming weeks. At number 4, we have the Hydran EX SIR, and this thing is coming in at $84.49, down $26.53 from its previous reading. Again, this is another card in the same exact spot that we looked at from the last time, but now it's actually down about $40 from its pre-release price. And again, this is another card we have not pulled yet. We have only really opened about 400 packs roughly. We still haven't pulled a lot of these top 10 cards, honestly. This one is close to the range that I previously predicted, and I think that we can still hit that price range down to it in the next couple weeks. At number 3, we have the Gold Pikachu EX, and this thing is incredibly at $126.80. It is up $76 from its previous reading. By far the biggest surprise of the set so far, and it's not even close. I will say I was surprised that this card wasn't even in the original top 10 when we looked at it, but I never thought that it would reach this price point or these heights. This is absolutely incredible that this card has risen to this price. I think with the pull rates being in a really sweet spot, not too over the top, not absolutely horrible, and the fact that the set is, let's be honest, is kind of scarce at the moment. I do not believe that this card will sustain this though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing runs to 150. I also wouldn't be shocked if it drops to $100. We just have to see, especially when more products start getting on shelves. This card could come down for sure. At number 2, we have the Latias EX SIR, and this one's coming in at $207.57. It is actually up $2.65 from its previous reading. We always knew that this one would be at the number 2 spot for a long time, and maybe it had the potential to surpass the Pikachu, but that door is shut for now. What's interesting is this card really is the only big card that reacted exactly how the market usually reacts. Skyrocketed up in the pre-release, it dropped like a rock whenever release day came, and now it went back up and is trading sideways, which to me is healthy movement for this card. After pulling it and seeing it in person, I can confirm this card is insane. Like, the pictures do not do it justice. This card is really nice. I said before that this card has big boy potential. Being number 2 to the Pika, it reminds me a lot of the Espeon and Gengar from Fusion Strike. Maybe not to those price points exactly, but the way that they move together, like the way that the Espeon and Gengar, like the Espeon was number 1, the Gengar overtook it. I could see that absolutely happening. And at number 1, we all knew it was going to be here, the Pikachu EX SIR. So this thing is sitting at $559.20, up $253 from its previous reading. Absolutely insane. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so far this card is blowing the Greninja out of the water. Thought we would see a big release day drop, and we never seen it. We got the release day bounce, which is really weird. I still can't believe that it reached these prices so quick, but I guess we could have really kind of predicted this. If you want to compare it to the Rainbow Pikachu from Vivid, even though I didn't want to because Vivid Voltage had so much outside things going on with it coming out during COVID, that I didn't want to try to compare the two, but honestly, they kind of came out of the gate the same exact way. We're very close. We all know what happened to the Pikachu in Vivid. It dropped like a rock. What's really crazy is for the Rainbow Pikachu from Vivid, I actually think it's harder to pull than this one. Even though we haven't pulled this one yet, it does look like this card is starting to kind of mellow out a little bit, and it's starting to kind of trade sideways. Honestly, this thing is way too unpredictable. I mean, it really is. Like, we can't really predict this. I mean, we even seen what the graded prices were. We're gonna look at them here in a second just to see what it's reflecting on collector. But I just can't imagine buying this card for $500. So at graded, I know you guys seen where there was like active bids on a $200,000 Pikachu. I just don't see, I don't know, that has to be bots or something. There's no way that's real. This thing's sitting at $2,346 in a PSA 10. I would not pay this price at all. If you pull it, I would absolutely send it in the PSA if you got a good copy. And I mean, if you could sell it for this, hey, more power to you, but man, that is wild. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support. The last Surge and Sparks video absolutely killed it. It's one of our most viewed videos on the channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. I'm hoping we can space out the next one for a month or so. This one, the prices just went so insane on this set that it felt really necessary to make this video. Guys, if you love being a DGen, if you love Pokemon, I highly recommend you to join our Discord. It is an absolute blast. We get updates all the time. We are talking smack to each other. We are talking Pokemon. We're talking sports, everything. It is a fantastic community in the Discord. I highly recommend it. Also, if you're feeling like you want some rip and ship DGen stuff, definitely check out PokeFactoryShop.com. We try to compete with prices, and of course we do hitbox pulls and everything. Solid hitbox pulls, by the way. No garbage, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you guys later. Make sure you check out the previous pre-release video as well so you guys can get the full context of what we were looking at. See you guys later. Poke Factory out. Peace!